fear, worry, anxiety. What is fear? Fear of letting go. Fear of starting all over again. Fear of being judged. Fear of stepping out of your comfort zone. What is fear? What is this thing that is stopping people from starting all over again? This thing that is stopping people from letting go. This thing that is giving people shiver down their spine when they think of giving it a shot. What is this thing called fear? In a nutshell, fear is false evidence appearing real. So to begin with, those evidence, those signs, they are just false. It's just that you are the one who gives them the power. You are the one who gives them the glory to appear real. You let them dictate your life. You let those signs stop you from giving it a shoot. You let them dictate your life. You let them stop you from starting again. You let them stop you from letting go. So, ignore those evidence. They are not real to begin with. They are just false. I go by the name Neville Ambonya, and today's episode I'm going to talk about fear. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment down below. Allow me to use a short story of someone who decided to take that leap of faith and ignored the evidence, ignored the signs that he was going to fail. Because actually, failure is temporary. But quitting or refusing to start or giving room to false evidence is permanent. It's about this woman that had a problem with the flow of blood. She would bleed. She had bled for 12 years. Now, because she was really isolated, she stayed alone because no one wanted to associate with her because of her problem, because of her disease. She was really isolated. She was really ignored. She was really looked down upon. She was overlooked. But because Jesus was in the neighborhood, and she decided that she's going to do that thing she's afraid of. She's going to walk out of her comfort zone, go out there and seek her healing. So she took that leap of faith, went outside, in the middle of everybody. She moved her ways, found her way through amid that congestion, amid that large crowd that was following Jesus. She was able to maneuver her way and she touched Jesus' gown. And coincidentally, she was healed. She touched Jesus with expectation. Jesus felt that some power had left him and he wanted to know who had touched her, who had touched him. So this woman, she took that leap of faith, did that thing that she was afraid of being judged, afraid that people are going to look down on her, afraid that she's going to fail. She took that leap of faith, took that bold step, went and touched Jesus' gown. So brother, sister, take that bold step. That thing you are afraid of, those false evidence, those signs that are keeping you or stopping you from starting all over again, from letting go, ignore them. Give it a shot. This is where your growth starts. This is where you're going to receive your healing. When you take that leap of faith, take that bold step and do that thing you're afraid of. It activates your growth. So ignore those false evidence. Give it one more trial. Start all over again. Maybe you are from a failed business venture, and now, because of how it failed, because of the devastating state it left you, you are afraid to start all over again. Maybe you are from that failed relationship. Because of the pain that you endured, because of the pain that was exerted on your life, you don't want to start again. You are afraid of those evidence. You are afraid of those things, those painful moments, those trials, those trauma that you went through. Ignore those signs. Ignore those evidence. They are not real. They are just there to intimidate you. But when you give them the power, they will stop you from starting all over again. So some people tend to associate failure with only negative aspects or negative side. But failure is actually their fear. Fear. People tend to associate failure or fear with the negative side only. But they are fear which are very positive. Like I have a friend of mine that is afraid of poverty. So he will work extra hard. He will do everything that is at his disposal, just so that he cannot fall in that pit of poverty. Just so that he cannot become captive of poverty. So that fear of falling into that pit of poverty keeps him moving. It gives him the energy, the strength to put more effort so that he cannot fall in that pit. So fear is very positive. There are fear that are very positive. But when you give room, when you give that fear power, it is going to intimidate you. It's going to overwhelm you, and you will not start again. Remember, the Bible says that do not be anxious about anything. So anxious in the form of fear about anything, but in everything by prayers and supplication with thanksgiving let your request be made known unto God. So don't be intimidated or don't be forced to quit just because of the signs and the evidence that you saw when you were trying or when you were starting. Ignore them. Ignore them. Give it one more shoot. Give it one more shot. And it will surprise you that this time is going to work out. That this time things will fall into place. There are people out here that I can attest that they have never visited Kimpiski. They have never visited Safari Park. Just because they are afraid that they cannot be able to sustain or settle the bill that they are going to encounter or they are going to use when they visit those high-end hotels. But it will surprise you that when you take that leap of faith, do that thing, visit those hotels, visit those luxurious places that you are afraid of, you will be surprised of how you will be able to settle those bills, have lunch there, and this actually is going to be your normal routine. You will find yourself doing this regularly. But in the first place, you are really afraid. You let the false evidence intimidate you. That physical picture that you saw, that you manifested in your mind of how Safari Park is, of how Kimpiski is, of how food is expensive in Kimpiski. Exercise that leap of faith. Visit Kimpiski. Visit Safari Park. You will be surprised. Start that failed business venture. Get someone. fall in love. It will surprise you of how you're going to discover different dimension of joy after you give it one more shot. Brother, sister, don't let fear dictate your life. Fear is the birthplace of regret. If you refuse to start, because there is no right time to start. Start now. Start now. Start now. This instance, there is no right time to start. Leave that comfort zone and start all over again. Start all over again. Fear. Fear is just false evidence. They are false to begin with. They are false. Kick that spirit of fear out of your life. I want you to note somewhere that and write this. From today henceforth, fear is false evidence appearing real. I won't let this dictate my life. This is not part and parcel of me. Kick that spirit out of your life. You know, we tend to worry about the end, about the results, about the challenges that we will encounter before we even start. This time you may start and you will not encounter those similar challenges that you encountered. This time things will fall into place. This time finances will be provided. Shift from that small house, that small thing that you call a house, where you are congested. Leave and shift to a bigger apartment. You will be very surprised of how fear is going to make you work extra hard, put more effort in your business, commit your heart and soul into that business or into that job, so that you can get resources and finances to pay the rent, to settle the bills in those luxurious or bigger apartment. So leave your comfort zone. Leave your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to start again. Don't be afraid to give it a shot. As you exercise kicking the spirit of failure, fear, anxiety, worry out of your life, I wish you the best. Bye bye.